editing it. Good morning, everybody. Hi, we've just got a few coming in from the lobby. If you're not on mute, I'd really appreciate it if you could just pop yourselves on mute. That would be fantastic. Brilliant. And thank you so much for everybody joining us this morning. Wednesday, the 15th of April. We're really excited to showcase you our Asia Beyond the Beach. I'm just checking everybody is in. We won't be a moment. Brilliant. So, as just a reminder to those that have just joined us, if you can pop yourselves onto mute, we would really appreciate it. I'm going to share my screen and introduce you to Ali, who is going to take you through this incredible webinar. She's one of our amazing product execs, and she's going to teach you a little bit more about Asia and what you can expect beyond the beach. So let me share my screen.
Nobody helps each other, do they? Virgin can't do it, no. Because it's been booked through an agent.
So again, if we can just make sure we're all on mute. Brilliant. And if you can all just confirm that you can see my screen. Fantastic. So Ali, we're going to hand over to you.
Thanks, Charlotte. Morning, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. I am the Senior Product Manager for our TaylorMade department here at Phonely. Have been for quite a number of years working in our product department here, and prior to that, in my sales role at Travel2 was selling Asia. So I do hope that we have an informative and enjoyable session this morning. As Charlotte's mentioned, and as you can see, the theme today is Asia Beyond the Beach. So this is not to say that we won't be touching on beach product at all today, or that we're looking in any way to discourage clients from travelling to Asia for beach. There are, of course, some amazing options out there for that. But really, we wanted to just take the opportunity to look in a bit more depth at the range of experiences available to you when you're booking a holiday to Asia with If Only, how we can support you in creating some really memorable itineraries for your clients so that give them a real true taste of what Asia's got to offer. So, of course, Asia is a very big place with a lot of different destinations. So we won't be going into detail in absolutely everything today, but hopefully you'll come away with a good sense of what both Asia and If Only have to offer. And of course, we're always on hand to answer any follow-up questions or provide any more detail in areas that you're particularly interested in. So first off, I just want to run you through some of the key reasons for you to entrust your inquiries to Asia with If Only. So you may not have realised this, but we have actually been selling and specialising in Asia for 19 years. So it's definitely not a new destination for us, and is very much a core part of our business at If Only, and a destination we know really well and have travelled to extensively. So as is our ethos here at If Only, our service is really what sets us apart. We're not just processing bookings and taking requests, we really are here to support you, our agent partners, chat through options, share experience, and with our dedicated sales team on the road, you do know, of course, that you've always got somebody within the business that you can reach out to. We have a really strong reservations team here at If Only, and combined between them, they have over 350 years of working in travel and selling Asia. And something that we're also really proud of here is how close our sales and our product teams work together. The departments are really an extension of each other, and our sales team are not just working from a system that feeds them information. We're always chatting to each other about inquiries. We work really closely together to help create the most suitable combinations to meet your brief. We share information on new product updates and just general insights that we as a product team get directly from our partners on a daily basis. So if you or your clients have got any specific questions or requests, this information is all shared between sales and product and our product department. So we reach out to our partners on the ground, we've got great relationships with, and we can get the most up-to-date information or the best solution for your inquiry. As with all of our portfolio at If Only, the product is in the 4 and 5 star bracket. And as mentioned, we do have excellent supplier relationships, many of which go back 19 years from when we began sailing the destination. And as much as product are an extension of the sales team internally, our partners are really an extension of If Only and destination. We know our team are really passionate about Asia, along with regular fans and trade show attendants. Many of them just choose to travel to Asia on their own for their personal holidays. So we're always learning and growing our experience. And last year, If Only were accredited with the prestigious Travel Life Sustainability Accreditation. This was a really rigorous assessment. It was a process that took many aspects of how we operate as a business, how we look after our people, and really importantly, the product and the partners that we choose to work with. So we're really proud of this achievement, and for you it means that you can feel confident in the knowledge that when you book with If Only, you're making a responsible choice for your clients in terms of how our future is shaped through travel. So taking all of this into account, what I really want you to take away from this is just the real strength that we have in helping to create bespoke, tailor-made itineraries, ensuring that every detail is considered. So quick reminder for those who are already booking Asia with us, or as an introduction for anybody not as familiar, our current portfolio for Asia covers India, Sri Lanka, Thailand, Indonesia and Malaysia, Singapore, Vietnam, Cambodia, Laos, Japan, Hong Kong and China. So as we know, we're looking at Asia beyond the beach today. So I think it's worth just recapping the different types of travel and options that we offer and that you can book with If Only. So of course, you've got your twin and multi-centre trips, private guided itineraries in Sri Lanka and India, bespoke tailor-made itineraries with options for both private guided excursions and self-guided exploration throughout the full portfolio. We do luxury cruise as well as small ship expedition cruising and river cruise. We do escorted touring, rail travel, and that can be the multi-night journeys, your scenic day trips and just your more standard transfer options. We now have If Only Sports, so we've got our sporting events, and then of course you do have luxury beach. So what does a holiday to Asia have to offer? So just listed here are a few examples of the things that Asia does so well and that attract clients to travel there. But what's really important to understand is whatever blend of culture, wildlife, amazing food, stunning landscapes, whichever combination you're looking at, ultimately a great trip to Asia encapsulates a sense of place, it's immersive, and it really unlocks an excitement in your clients, which is why it's also the perfect destination to capture repeat business, because when you've been once, you realise there's so much more to explore. So moving on, we're going to have a think about the reasons and the drivers why people may choose to travel to Asia. So thinking about what clients are really interested in. What is their passion? What are the things that are really going to make this holiday for them? And in doing that, it really opens you up to so many more options than just trying to select the right hotel. So wildlife is definitely one of those key drivers and something that can really define travel. Have your clients already been on safari? Did they love a trip to Canada to see the bear lodges? If wildlife is what they really love, then how can we give them that experience in Asia? There are a few destinations that do really stand out for wildlife in Asia. And luckily there's a mix of different draws for different destinations. So again, setting the scene for that repeat business, repeat bookings. So Borneo, absolute paradise for wildlife lovers. So orangutans are generally what people associate most with Borneo, rightly so. It is an amazing place to see them, and we include a visit to the Orangutan Rehabilitation Centre in Sepilok. Guests can then get the chance to visit the Sun Bear Conservation Centre before carrying on their journey deeper into the wilderness. Itineraries can be adapted to suit different durations, depending on how in-depth an experience your clients want. And then for those that venture into the Danam Valley, they've got the chance to experience one of the oldest rainforests on Earth and the incredible diversity of wildlife and bird species that live there. This really is one for true nature enthusiasts. Accommodation around Sepilok, Kinabatangan and Danam Valley, where these itineraries generally take you, are not the most luxurious. They are eco lodges, they're designed to be sympathetic with the environment. They definitely don't come with all the bells and whistles of a luxury hotel, but it's such an immersive experience, and the reason to travel here really is for the nature. The whole area is known as Asia's Amazon, so it just gives you a bit of an insight into how immersive this experience is. Indonesia, so if you've got clients that are more interested in exploring the underwater world, there are few places that offer a better experience than Indonesia. Bali, of course, is a key hub for Indonesia and a very popular tourist area, but in the last couple of years, we've definitely seen a shift. Travellers from the UK are looking for a more authentic Indonesian experience and recognising that the country's got so much more to offer than just the main tourist hotspot. Many sites around the country have got world-class diving and marine diversity. And one way to really immerse yourself in this is to choose a liveaboard cruise with options that sail around either the Spice Island, Rajampat or Komodo. But if clients do prefer to be resort-based, then Baba Reserve, which is accessible from Singapore and located in Indonesia's Coral Triangle, has a house reef. It's got access to 13 dive sites and it's situated in a marine national park, which is home to a massive 70% of the world's coral. We've got a little video just to share from the Borneo Rainforest Lodge, which is located in the Danang Valley, and that will just give you a bit more of an idea of what your guests can expect from this region. So yeah, you can see just how absolutely stunningly beautiful it is, and I'm sure you can imagine for any clients who have got that passion for nature and wildlife that this is just an incredible option for them. So yep, sticking on wildlife for now, we just want to touch on both India and Sri Lanka. So they definitely have a place for any wildlife lovers wish list. Yala National Park in the south of Sri Lanka is arguably the most well-known region to visit for wildlife. It's home to one of the highest density of leopard anywhere in the world. However, there are 26 national parks throughout the country. Many of them do offer that safari-style experience, predominantly seeking leopard and elephant and an array of bird life. While you do have a really high concentration of leopard in Yala, as is their nature, these big cats are elusive, so sightings are not guaranteed. And if clients' priority is seeing big elephant herds over big cats, then Mini Area or Udawalawe National Parks may be a better inclusion for their itinerary, but that's something that we can chat through with you, depending on what's best suited for your client. Sri Lanka's coastline offers a really great option for clients who are looking to extend with a beach stay once they've done their touring itinerary. And in keeping with the wildlife theme, it is also a popular destination for whale watching. So Marissa on the south coast sees migration from November to April, and then Trincomalee, which is one of the resorts on the east coast, is best from May to September. The nice thing is this also aligns with the favourable weather patterns in Sri Lanka. So our summer months in the UK can see heavy rainfall in the south and west coast of Sri Lanka, but are the ideal time to visit the east. So open Sri Lanka up as a year-round destination. And then India, it's inspiration for the Jungle Book, and it's the premier destination in the world to see tigers in the wild. Ranthambore in northern India is probably the most well-known of the national parks and can be so nicely combined with your kind of classic itineraries like the Golden Triangle. So your absolute first-timer combination of Delhi, Jaipur and Agra. But there are a number of national parks, and a lot of them are located around central India. So again, looking for combinations with a tiger safari opens you up to a wide range of itineraries, whether you've got clients who want to go down to the gentle backwaters and the lush landscapes of Kerala, or the beaches of Goa, or even into the heartland of Varanasi. I do think it is just worth noting about both India and Sri Lanka, especially if your clients have done safari previously in Africa, that the experiences here in Asia, they do take place in national parks. They're not in private conservancies the way that a lot of the safaris are in Africa. So it's not as intimate an experience as what they might have previously had. Particularly during peak travel periods, the parks can get really busy, and you don't have the same strictly enforced regulations around the number of vehicles that are permitted around the animal sightings. So it's not going to be exactly like for like. But that being said, much of Africa is your wide open savannas, your vast valleys. The east regions of India and Sri Lanka, they are characterised by dense jungle, lush wetlands. So sightings can be that bit more thrilling because you may have to look a little bit longer to find them. If you've got clients who've not done Africa but are interested in it, then these areas can provide a great introduction for a holiday with a safari style element at a bit of a lower price point. So just staying on Sri Lanka for a minute, this is definitely a real loved destination for If Only. It's one of the original countries we sold in Asia. We've got the same amazing DMC partner now as we did when we launched the destination 19 years ago. And this morning we've got an update from one of our partners who have got a number of properties in Sri Lanka which can be combined for a classic Sri Lanka circuit. Just coming.
Good morning, everybody. It's Vicky from Susan Presents, and I'm here today to talk to you about our beautiful partners in Sri Lanka, Resplendent Ceylon and Reverie Collection. We've got the top three are Resplendent Ceylon. We have Wild Coast Tented Lodge in Yala, Ceylon Tea Trails in Tea Country, and beautiful Cape Welagama down on the south coast. And then they also have their 5-star boutique sister brand, which are Reverie Collection, currently with 2 properties, Ahu Bay and Khayyam House, which has actually just been rebranded to Khayyam Wellness, which you will see in the presentation. So let's move things along for you, and I'll give you a quick top line overview of the properties and a few updates for those of you that are familiar with them. So starting off with Ceylon Tea Trails. So just as a reminder, 5 independent tea planters bungalows set across the Castlereagh estate, which is a working tea estate making world-renowned Dilmah tea, located 20 minutes from Hatton Station. We have access to 4 segments of the amazing 300-kilometre Pico Trail and are accessible from the property. So it's making it ideal for soft adventure clients. Hiking, trail running, mountain biking, kayaking are all really popular at tea trails, as well as of course, obviously the tea experiences that you can have here. Rates are full board, and they include drinks menus as well, with meals, pre-dinner cocktails every evening, and soft drinks as well. So it's not all inclusive, but it's not far off. Also included in the rates is quite a few activities. They've really fleshed that out for clients staying, because we're finding the average length of stay is around 3 to 4 nights these days, as opposed to 2 to 3. And often it's quite popular to split the stay over 2 different types of bungalow. So also included in the rates is the tea fields and factory tour. And for longer stays across multiple bungalows, they also include a half-day guided trail walk, 60 minutes spa treatment per person, and a tea planter's tiffin lunch as well in a beautiful scenic estate setting. So there's lots of value adds at Ceylon Tea Trails these days. Also worth noting that we're entering green season now, which is sort of the shoulder season, so that's April through to November. Green season stays are around 30% off best available rates, and Cinnamon Air, the domestic airline, are also offering heavily reduced seat and plane tickets at the moment. I think they're around $340 per person from Colombo straight onto Castlereagh Lake, because it's a seaplane transfer. So that cuts down the drive from Colombo from 4.5 hours to about a 25-minute flight, which might be beneficial for clients, especially with the challenging air uplift accessibility. If they've been around the houses, they've had a long journey, and perhaps they're not going up to the Cultural Triangle on this occasion, or if they're doing things in a different order, that would be a really great way of entering into tea country. Okay, so just give you a few shots so you can just get a quick reminder of the quality and the experience. You can see down in the bottom left-hand corner, we've got the seaplane transfer as well that they would arrive on. Okay, whizzing you down to Yala National Park. So we have Wild Coast Tented Lodge, the most luxurious accommodation in Yala by far. Luxury tented camp where the jungle meets the beach. We're located in the buffer zone, so we're located down on the beach just outside the park gates. 28 cocoon tents that are the accommodation. We have standard cocoon with pool, and then we have family cocoon as well, which are with pool with an adjacent urchin tent for larger groups travelling together. Incredible dining. Again, the rates are on a full board basis with pre-dinner cocktails every evening, premium alcohol with meals, also includes 1 game drive per person per stay. Generally speaking, we would say the safari experience at Yala is probably not recommended for children under the age of 6 years old. It's just too long in a car, too fidgety, they've got to be too quiet. It's hard work for little ones. They do actually have some new additions for 2026. They've just opened their June Lounge, which is an open air relaxing space on the beach, which looks absolutely fabulous. A really lovely addition for further little nooks and crannies to go and relax with a book and a lovely drink. They've also opened the Quarry Fitness Space. So they now are the only property in Yala, bar maybe something like a Marriott, who have a gym facility. This is going down incredibly well with clients because, as you can imagine, they feed you like kings and queens here, and also at Tea Trails. So, and when you're on the game drives, they're fascinating, but you're not moving very much. And it's really great to be able to stretch your legs. But because Yala is, you know, wildlife is all around you. It's teeming with life. There are elephants regularly on the beach, obviously leopard, crocodiles, etc. It's not easy just to go out for a walk. So having a gym facility is a real benefit. Also, they have the fossil room now, which is actually a sort of kids club area for kids who are on safari, just to kind of relax in a more child-friendly space, which is fantastic. So some fabulous additions to Wild Coast Tented Lodge, and it remains one of our most popular selling properties, and we love it. Okay, I'm going to whiz you along. As you can see, just a few extra images here, just as a refresher. As you can see, the decor is very impressive and quite unique. Okay, we're going to whiz you along the south coast to Cape Weligama now. Beautiful Cape Weligama, we love it so much. 23 villas and 16 suites with 11 interconnecting suites, so 39 rooms in total, located across lush green gardens on Weligama's beautiful coastline. It's only 10 minutes from town. There's a complimentary shuttle to and from Weligama town all day and into the evening. If clients don't want to wait for that, there's a tuk-tuk station literally outside the gates of the property. It costs them about 50p to get into town, so as they wish, depending on what they want to do. It's only 30 minutes from Gaul, so you don't need to stay in Gaul as well as Weligama, and only 15 minutes from Marissa for whale watching in season. It has 2 beautiful swimming pools. We have our Cove Beach, which has been developed to a more sort of classic beach break standard. So this is our beautiful beach club, which is on our Cove Beach, which is brand new beach club facility. We also now have, and this is new news, it's all very exciting, about to go into the general public, but you are one of the first to know about it. We have an in-house surf school arrangement with global brand Tropic Surf, which is very, very exciting. So clients can do surf lessons on site. They can also go off site. The swimming beaches right by Weligama are sort of intermediate level surf, whereas beginner surf is a little bit closer to town. So if your clients are beginner surfers or they're young surfers, then they'll take them a little bit closer to town in our dedicated surf shuttle. They also have, brand new for this year, is the complimentary forest school for children, which is fantastic. You do not need to pre-book it for your clients. It's just available for all children staying at Cape, which is really fantastic. Generally in the area, there's just so much to do. We love it so much. It was perfect for a family break or perfect for couples, depending on what sort of steer you're going for. But we're accessible for Udawallaway National Park for day trips. We're only 2 hours from, obviously, Wild Coast Tented Lodge, so it makes a perfect twin stay, and only 2 hours from Colombo Airport for the transfer. There's tons to do along this coastline. Of course, Marissa is just down the way, as I've mentioned. There's also loads of little local arty towns nearby as well. And Weligama town is really vibrant, fun, traditional Sri Lankan town. Loads of lovely little eateries and shops to explore, beach bars, etc. So I love it around Cape, and I'm sure your clients will too. That's our iconic moon pool on the top of the cliff top there, near the spa and the bar, which is all important. And as you can see, all the rooms have been renovated quite recently to a really beautiful standard. Okay, whizzing you along to Reverie Collection. So Reverie Collection, as mentioned before, is our leading 5-star boutique sister brand. We have 2 unique properties. There are more to come. I'm starting with Ahu Bay. This is Ahu Bay. So it's located on the west coast. It's a laid-back, barefoot, home away from home, 13 rooms and suites with sort of beach house vibes. It's west facing, so you have great sunsets, and the beach is swimmable here. It also has a really intimate sanctuary spa, which is very popular with our clients. It has quite a coupley feel, but families are very welcome. There is a minimum age restriction of 12 years old, so older families would be better here. They tend to have DJs in the evenings on the terrace here with the sunset and a nice little drink. It's well located, so we're only 90 minutes from Colombo Airport, 60 minutes from Gaul, so easily day tripping out to Gaul. It's a great location for laid-back activities. You can go cycling in the Dedawa backwaters, go waterfall trekking. There's spice plantations nearby, and there's a lot of famous architecture nearby by Geoffrey Bower. So there's plenty to do in this area, and it makes a great first or last stop in any itinerary. Now, whizzing you along. Finally, and last but definitely not least, we have the beautiful Khayyam House. As I mentioned before, it's just rebranded to Khayyam Wellness, and it's a unique space to reset and renew. It's located on the southern coast, about 10 minutes outside of Tangle. It's renowned for surfing, secluded beaches, and nature encounters, from birding right through to whale watching. It's 3 hours from Colombo Airport, and it's the perfect location for a restorative Ayurvedic break. And that is one of its biggest USPs, is that it is an Ayurvedic property, but with a soft touch. If your clients don't want to imbibe in Ayurveda, that's completely fine. Say you have a couple traveling together, one might be into it, one might not be. That's completely fine. They can tailor accordingly to your client's needs. And they have a full range of Ayurvedic programming. They have 2 Ayurvedic practitioners on site, daily complimentary yoga, associated spa treatments, sauna and steam room, and gym. So the minimum age requirement here is 16 years old. So really is an adult-only property. This beach is Rekaba Beach. It's absolutely gorgeous, long and sweeping, and nobody on it. It's, absolutely secluded. We wouldn't recommend it for swimming. The tides are incredibly strong on Rekaba, which is why we have a glorious pool. But there are areas, obviously closer to Tangle, 10 minutes away, where you can swim should clients wish to. Both properties, both Reverie Collection properties, Ahu Bay and Khayyam Wellness, are available for buyout. Ahu Bay is only 13 rooms and suites, which I mentioned before, whereas Khayyam Wellness is only 9 rooms and suites. So both gorgeous offerings for your clients. They are not Reliant Chateau level, and therefore price point wise is reflected. So they're much more accessible price point for your clients. So if you're mixing and matching throughout an itinerary, this would make a great option for them to save a little bit of money if they're splurging on other areas in their trip. And that is a very quick top line on Resplendent Salem. Obviously, if you have any questions, Susan and I are always here. We'll be very happy to help you. You can email us through. I know the product team have all of our email addresses. I think plenty of you do too. But anything we can do to help, please just reach out. We would love to work with you. Thanks ever so much for listening. It's an absolute pleasure working with you all, and we look forward to seeing you really soon.
Fab. So yeah, I mean, you know, Vicky's really summed it up nicely there, but you know, one of the amazing things about Sri Lanka really is the opportunity for guests to have so many amazing experiences within one small country. And that's, yeah, definitely one of the key highlights of sailing Sri Lanka and traveling there. So moving on. We are going to now just have a look at some of the kind of twin and multi-sensor options and some of our recommended combinations and how easy they are to put together for your clients. Under current circumstances, I do think it would be remiss not to acknowledge how the war is currently impacting clients' desire to travel to Asia. We know that so many of our clients do rely on stopping off or transiting through the Middle East. And while I would have included some information on Singapore and what a fantastic connector it is to a range of holidays around Asia, it is even more relevant now and really worth highlighting this option to clients. So not only what Singapore itself has to offer, but just how easily it can be combined with a wider itinerary. So of course, the big tick right now is the fact that there are direct flights from the UK. Singapore, for us, has always been a really popular stopover for clients travelling down to Australia and New Zealand. But even prior to this current situation, it was seeing a lot of growth for travellers, either doing it as a standalone destination or combining it with some other destinations in Asia to create a really lovely multi-country itinerary. To name a few, there are direct flight options from Singapore into various hubs in Thailand, Bali and Lombok, Hanoi and Siem Reap, as well as flight and overland options to Malaysia. It's also an extremely popular cruise port. It's the access point to some of Indonesia's smaller islands. Of course, it hosts the original night race in the Formula One circuit, and it's where the Eastern and Oriental Express begins and ends its journey. So the culmination of all of this has really seen a destination grow into being somewhere which is extremely well developed for tourism. It's got a beautiful balance of modernity and heritage, an incredible food scene, and it's just a really, really great option for families as there's such a wide range of experiences suited to all age ranges. It's also extremely safe, very clean and easy to get around, and that can be really reassuring, particularly for first-time visitors to Asia. So I've highlighted here just a few favourite combinations that utilise Singapore as a jumping off point. So, okay, first one is the real pinnacle of ultimate luxury. Sets the standard in terms of delivering an iconic Asia itinerary. So beginning with Raffles Hotel, arguably one of, if not the most revered heritage hotels in the whole of Asia. I would recommend doing 3 nights here, particularly if clients have not previously visited Singapore, minimum 3 nights. And then looking to take them aboard the famous Eastern and Oriental Express. So the train now does only operate from Woodland Station in Singapore. Some of you may remember it did used to depart from Bangkok. However, post-COVID, when the train began operating again, this had changed. And although there are a couple of different itineraries available, they now all travel through Malaysia on a round trip from Singapore. They don't cross into Thailand at all. We've got Langkawi here as the ideal conclusion for this itinerary. And while there are a number of great hotel options in Langkawi, I have specifically highlighted the Datai, as I really do feel that both the Datai and Raffles just align so perfectly with the guest experience on board the train, and I do know that both hotels work very closely with Belmond to operate the train, to ensure a real seamless experience for guests who are enjoying this itinerary. With Raffles, for example, they will have a representative of Belmond who will go to Raffles the day before the train departs. They'll conduct check-in for the guests there. It's a small detail, but it just really elevates the experience. The train station itself can be a bit hectic, so just having that really nice relaxed option for guests to be able to check in the day before at the hotel sets them up really nicely for the experience that they're about to have. Something else which is quite good to know, which Belmond don't really advertise, but we can help with, is that if you've got guests who are doing the Essence of Malaysia itinerary, which is one of their 2 core journeys, then on return to Singapore, the train travels back through Kuala Lumpur, and it's actually possible to disembark here. So it doesn't get into KL until about midnight. It's after dinner and the evening entertainment, so it is late, but but Belmond can arrange a car to take the guests to the hotel just to check in late and have a sleep. It means that if they are doing that beach extension in the morning, they can take a morning flight straight to Langkawi. Whereas if they stayed on the train into Singapore, they would arrive into Singapore, but they would miss the direct connecting flight to Langkawi and would spend an additional night in Singapore. So all they're actually missing from the train experience in doing that is basically sleeping on the train on the last night and breakfast in the morning. So it's just something to kind of be mindful of for potentially looking at for clients if they maybe are a wee bit tight on time or they don't feel that they want to spend that additional night in Singapore. This particular itinerary, the Essence of Malaysia, also takes clients to visit Perlis, which is the smallest state in Malaysia. It's not at all developed by tourism. It's not even frequented by Malaysians very much. It's absolutely stunningly beautiful, and they've got an amazing team of naturalists and guides which are so knowledgeable and passionate. It's a chance to really experience a complete unknown. And then we've got Thomas in our reservations team here at Only, who was lucky enough to experience the Eastern Oriental Express himself at the end of last year. So he's got amazing first-hand knowledge of the offering, and will be more than happy to chat you through his experience. But something that I think is really important to know is that his feedback when he came back from his trip was that while the train absolutely exceeded all expectations in terms of standard, the food, the onboard team, the overall level of luxury, he said that what he found really refreshing was that it didn't feel overly formal or stuffy. The atmosphere on board was really relaxed and friendly, and the team couldn't have been more welcoming and accommodating. So families, as I mentioned, Singapore is a really great destination for families. As a country, it's quite sanitised compared to the rest of Asia. So if you do have anybody that's a bit worried about getting too much of a culture shock, this is definitely a nice way to ease them into Asia. In terms of attractions, particularly for families, there is a really big mix. Sentosa Island is essentially a man-made destination created for families. You've got Universal Studios there, albeit a much smaller version than in the States. There's a huge aquarium, a water park, there's just general kind of family activities. They've got a luge, they've got a zip line, you've got gardens by the bay in the main city, which is of course one of Singapore's most well-known attractions. The nightly light show is free. They've got a family active zone, and then in their cloud forest, which is located in the Gardens of the Bay area, they have these really cool immersive exhibitions that run throughout the year and change. The current one is Jurassic Park themed, which is running till the end of the year. When I went, they had an Avatar one. I've never even seen Avatar, but I still found it amazing. And then looking at how you can combine it, going over to Thailand is a really nice option. If you do want to introduce a wee bit of that wildlife experience, then you could take clients to Khao Sok to go to Elephant Hills. If they just want to have the beach, or if they want to do Elephant Hills and then go on to the beach, then both Koh Lanta, or well, Krabi / Koh Lanta, or Koh Samui are really nice family-friendly beach add-ons. My personal preference would be to fly to Krabi and then travel on to Koh Lanta to stay at Pimilai. So Pimilai Beach Resort and Spa, it's actually one of my favourite hotels in Thailand, and while it is great for families, don't discount it for couples because it's a gorgeous option as well. The hotel itself was on huge grounds, so the accommodation all feel really private. So it is actually one of these rare ones that works really, really well for both families and couples. The villa options, they've got up to 3 bedrooms, so perfect for keeping the family together. They've got private pool, they're super spacious. And then if you do have couples, I highly recommend the Hillside 1-bed ocean villas. They've got the most stunning views and a nice romantic feel. Although I was there on my own, but I could tell they would have been. It's on a really gorgeous 900-metre stretch of beach. The beach is very, very quiet. There's a huge range of activities. You've got a Mai Tai gym, paddle court, basketball courts, biking trails. You can do island hopping boat trips. And they also arrange a really lovely excursion to a local village for a mangrove tour. Koh Lanta itself is still a relatively quiet island for Thailand. So again, if you've got first timers, if you've got families, it's a really good option for clients to kind of ease into Asia. You know, it can be a bit chaotic in some places. So this is a nice kind of taster. And then for honeymooners, or for clients who are looking for that kind of barefoot luxury feel, or even clients who've previously travelled to the Maldives and want a kind of similar experience but with a bit of a twist, then combining Singapore with a visit to Bawa Reserve is a gorgeous combination. So Bawa I mentioned earlier in regards to being one of the top diving spots. They work really closely with Capella, Sentosa and Singapore, and often the two will have special offers available to book for combined stays. And again, you've got that real continuity of service when you look at combining these two properties. So from the hotel in Singapore, the guest is escorted to the ferry terminal in Singapore. They'll take a ferry crossing to Batam, and then they get a seaplane flight directly to Bawa, and it is really the ultimate island experience. It's such a special property, and I think what's really nice about it is I can almost guarantee it will exceed your clients' expectations. The feedback that we've had from clients who've stayed here has just been phenomenal. And then if you've got clients who are a bit more culturally curious, they want something a bit more in depth, then this is, where you can really differentiate. If we look at starting at the Fullerton Hotel in Singapore, it gives you a really nice central heritage base in the city, and then travelling again into Indonesia, onto Jakarta and Yogyakarta. You've got highlights like Borobudur, which add real culture and substance. And then for a real exclusive beach finish, if you take them to Sumba, this is a really gorgeous remote beach stay. We've got a couple of properties that we work with there. Nihi Sumba is the first luxury resort on this island. They've got their own horses for unique equine therapy or horse riding along the beach, and it's a perfect itinerary for really well-travelled clients who are seeking a bit more of a meaningful experience. We're just going to show you a little clip of Bawa Reserve and the kind of seaplane arrival there, so that you can get a bit of that's a picture just on this slide, but we'll just show you a little video so you can get a sense of what the offering is here. So yeah, absolutely stunning. I think it gives the Maldives a run for its money. And keep an eye on our socials throughout the rest of the month. We'll be sharing some more information on Baba Reserve. So yeah, keep a lookout for that. So, okay, bringing us back to the main presentation. As I said at the beginning, the purpose of today is really just to make sure that you guys are all kind of fully aware of the breadth of experiences and product and different offerings we have here at If Only for Asia, so that you can be thinking of as, you know, for whatever type of itinerary your clients might come to you with. So we're going to touch a little bit on escorted touring. We do often get feedback from our agent partners that they're looking for more opportunity to book escorted touring with us in Asia. So yeah, I just want to highlight here who our partners are. We work with APT, who do offer a mix of land and river cruising in Japan, China, India, Sri Lanka and Vietnam. Their itineraries are 5-star, fully inclusive, and have got some really lovely signature experiences weaved in. In addition, and this is brand new information for everybody who's on this call today, we have just very recently expanded our partnership for escorted touring in Asia, and are now working with Wendy Wu Tours. So I'm sure you're all already familiar with Wendy Wu. They're of course an award-winning Asia specialist. They've got a huge selection of tours throughout much of Asia. And we can package these itineraries for you with flights. We can do additional pre and post ground arrangements. We can do stopovers and we can combine it with cruise. So it really opens up our escorted touring offering to meet with demand and hopefully offer you some more choice for your clients with a renowned operator for escorted touring. So yeah, we're very excited about this little update. Just okay, and then so continuing with this sort of kind of style of travel, is just touching on a little bit of what we can do with regards to rail, river and expedition cruising. So of course this is really suited to clients who are looking for a bit of a slower pace of travel, who value really personalised service and luxury accommodation, but without having all of the logistics to think about. So maximising on experience, minimising on logistics. So just unpack once, sit back and enjoy. There is a real mix of durations available with this type of product. Some of the itineraries are only 2 or 3 nights. So it allows clients to try this type of travel if it's something they've not done before without it necessarily dominating the entire holiday. And then equally, you've got much longer options available if you've already got clients who know that this is the sort of itinerary that they really enjoy. I've noted a few key partners that we work quite closely with. So Aqua Expeditions offer multi-night itineraries on the Mekong, travelling from Vietnam into Cambodia. And they also operate those key diving routes in Indonesia that we touched on earlier. So the Spice Islands, Raja Ampat, that's where you're going to get your really cool expedition cruising in Indonesia with a big focus on diving. They do offer repeater benefits across their different sailings, and although we're focusing on Asia today, I will just mention that they do also have itineraries in Latin America, covering Peru and the Galapagos, and they've also got their newest itinerary, which just launched earlier this year, which offers sailings from the Seychelles to Zanzibar. They are part of Ponant Group, so they do offer status match for Ponant benefit holders. So again, it's just a little nugget of information that helps tap into securing that repeat business for you and hopefully for us. So we've got Pandoil there. They offer small ship river cruises in Asia. We predominantly work with them in India, and their Ganges sailings are particularly popular. And then the Mirajas, easy for me to say, Express is India's luxury multi-night train journey offering immersive voyages through timeless cities and iconic landmarks in India. At the bottom of the slide, we've got some of our key partners operating in Vietnam, which leads us on nicely to our final kind of spotlight for this morning about one of our top trending destinations. But we'll just show you a little bit of what Aqua have got to offer before that. So yeah, as I say, that leads us on really nicely to just have a little bit of a look at Vietnam. It is, as it says here, most definitely having a moment. Even with the disruption over the last 6 weeks or so, it's still performing really well for us. It's trading up 30% year on year, and it's one of our top converting destinations in Asia. So I think it really shows the intent from consumers is strong to travel here, and hopefully that we can really deliver when it comes to curating Vietnam itineraries. It really does offer all of the best parts of an Asia holiday within one country. And over the last few years, the infrastructure has continued to improve, and more high-end product, both established brands and boutique offerings, have continued to open throughout the country. So there is a very typical kind of 12 to 14 night itinerary that will suit almost all first-time visitors to Vietnam. It combines your culture, your contrasting landscapes, your key highlights, and it basically just looks like flying into Hanoi, spending a few nights here before going on to Ha Long Bay, arguably the most iconic part of any Vietnam itinerary. From here, taking a flight down to central Vietnam to spend time in Hue, the former imperial capital, and then Hoi An, many people and my own favourite stop, just due to it's such a picture perfect ancient town, charming lantern lit streets, really lovely dining scene, and then culminating in Ho Chi Minh, obviously Vietnam's bustling capital, and really the epitome of a big kind of busy city-state in Asia. The norm does seem to be to do this north to south itinerary. However, arguably flipping it and reversing the route can be even more special, as throughout the journey you're then kind of building towards the highlights. I think it's worth mentioning Ha Long Bay and just setting expectations for this part of the itinerary. I mean, people are almost always going to want to include it. And it is true that there are a lot of boat operators to choose from, and that some parts of the bay have been sadly quite negatively impacted with the volume of tourism. So I guess our message here is not to exclude Ha Long Bay, but just to work with the right operators. So both Baia and Heritage Line, which I had in my previous slide, not only offer some of the highest standards of boats, but they also just tailor their schedule to offer just a bit more exclusivity. So whether that's leaving slightly late in the other boats or visiting some of the quieter bays, it's still a very similar experience, but it's just amended a little bit just to ensure that guests have a bit more of a special experience. Baia are the group. They've got 3 vessels. There is actually only 2 of them that we would work with, which is Auco and Baia Sol, which is their newest boat. And as I say, yeah, they just tailor the experiences to make them a little bit more enjoyable for your guests. There are other partners that work with and that we recommend in Ha Long Bay. So it's not to say that you'll only ever get itineraries with these 2 partners on them. Availability can be tight, so in peak time sometimes we have to pivot a little bit. But don't worry, if we do offer an itinerary that doesn't specifically have these boats, the ones we include have always been vetted. That's just a kind of nod to what we generally would go to in the first instance. So obviously, in addition to your kind of tried and tested favourite touring itinerary, there are some options to extend or offer variety. There are some great beach options. Vietnam has got quite a diverse weather system throughout the country, so while your kind of hot sunny days are not necessarily super important for the touring element, if clients do want to end at the beach, then it is definitely worth considering which resort is likely to deliver weather-wise, depending on what time of the year your clients are travelling. So January to April, suited to the beach resorts in the south, and then March to August works for central Vietnam beach retreats. And then for a bit of extra authenticity or off the beaten path, then Mekong, which we've just seen a lovely example of there with Aqua, is a really nice addition. Or if you've got clients who want to travel further north, then we would look at including a circuit up to Mai Chau, which is a really rewarding experience, and it will give clients just a bit more of a genuine insight into real traditional Vietnamese culture. The kind of northern itineraries used to generally default to the Sapa area. Even Sapa has become not busy as such, but a bit more kind of touristy. So Mai Chau is the kind of next place that we would now recommend for your clients to go to. And then just a couple of nice unique product options that are available in Vietnam, which you may or may not be aware of. So it is possible to do scenic flights over Ha Long Bay. This can either be done just as a kind of day excursion from Hanoi, if you've guests who want to see the area but don't necessarily want to do the overnight boats. So we can arrange that for you, and equally they can also be used as a transfer. So you could have clients travelling from Hanoi taking the scenic flight over to Ha Long Bay to get on the boat to then just maybe take a road transfer back. The road transfer is a couple of hours, so again that just cuts down on that transfer time a little bit. And then you've got the Viatage, which is the luxury train. It's part of the Anantara group. So it operates from Da Nang in central Vietnam down to Quy Nhon or Nha Trang, two of the beach resorts. It's a day experience, it's not an overnight train, but it's fine dining, guests will get a lovely meal on board, and it's a really nice way to connect these two areas rather than potentially having another flight in between them. So yeah, just a little bit of an overcap of Vietnam. As I say, it's definitely an area that is performing really well for us at the minute. So yeah, just a kind of final thought to recap some of the things to consider when booking Asia for your clients, and hopefully kind of emphasising the message that we're delivering this morning. So it is definitely about selling experiences and not just looking at hotels. Really understanding what your clients' likes and interests are, and really, you know, communicating that really well to us so that we can really tailor the itinerary. That's what we love to do. That's what we pride ourselves on. Is, you know, it's not off the shelf. It's not cookie cutter. It's very much what is going to be best suited for your client. The last thing we want is for them to spend all that money, travel to Asia and feel that they've either not got enough time in one place or too much time in another, or it's too heavily weighted towards temples and not enough with wildlife. So we just really want to understand that so that we can put the perfect itinerary together. We obviously do think that multi-centres are a great way to experience Asia, but you need to get the balance right. We don't want to spend them, have them spending their entire time in airports or in cars. The benefits of low and shoulder season can be really useful to discuss with clients, again, particularly if they are more looking at the kind of touring side of things rather than the beach stays, and having the opportunity to maybe look at travelling at a time where the rates are a bit lower or there's not so many crowds, if they're not too bothered about getting caught in the odd downpour. We do really love working with the boutique and locally owned properties, and that's definitely something that we kind of design our product portfolio around, and I think it offers clients a real nice sense of place and really makes them feel like they're in Asia when they're in Asia. Looking to include that wow moment and just make sure that they've got something really exciting and really stand out that's going to be a real memory for them. And yeah, talk to us, ask for our advice. We're more than happy to chat through our own experiences and share stories with you. So that's me. Thank you so much for your time this morning. I hope that was interesting, helpful, any of the above. But yeah.
That was amazing, Ali. That was phenomenal. And thank you so much for those of you that are still with us and have obviously got all the way through this amazing Asia Beyond the Beach with If Only. So I'm just going to check if we've got anything in the chat that hasn't been answered. I know Lauren has been looking at it for me. And a few people have asked for the videos that we've shared today, and I will be sending all of this on follow-up. They are huge, so I will have to probably transfer them down to you, but you can then absolutely use them for your own promotions. Let me just see if there's anything else that we might have missed before we sign off. Let's have a look. Just checking. Lots of lovely comments. Thank you ever so much. So I think we've pretty much covered everything. So from an If Only point of view, please try us for all of your tailor-made itineraries. Obviously, we always say phone first is best. So you can call us on 0141 955 4000. We do have emails. So we do have our tailormade.sales@ifonly.net. And again, I'll be sending how to contact us on a bit of a follow-up. We'll have the recording so you can share with your colleagues. And hopefully that might also inspire them to think a little bit more beyond the beach with If Only. So thank you all so much for your time this morning. And we'll hopefully see you again soon on one of our next informative webinars. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.